So we're starting now.
Good.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I really do appreciate everyone. It's so good to have you here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, Ella. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I am bringing you the best of the best. My guest is away. She's not in Virginia, so I'm so sorry that the connection didn't work out fine, but we promise that we're going to have to re-record this session for you. Thank you so much. Yes, I am just giving it a minute because I know Facebook is doing their thing and trying to notify people that I am here. Finally, getting started. Yay!
Yay!
Good morning. Hello, Esther from Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, Sandra, thank you. Thank you for joining. So we'll just give you a minute. Facebook is still trying to notify people. I can see that on my screen. And so we want to get everyone together. We are here a little bit late, but trust me, we have the right message. So you want to give us a couple of minutes and join this civility party. We're about to get started. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Hi, Jacqueline. I can see you. That you just joined.
I can see you.
Okay. So, guys, thank you and welcome to the Civilized Presence. Like I said, you are in the right place at the right time. And guys, this is the 13th session of our Facebook series, Civilized Presence. And that is session number 13. I am so grateful that we have come this far. We are here every Mondays and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you are here live, I really appreciate you. I know that lots of you had come and had to go away because we had some difficulties. But if you have stayed on, you are the best. And for those people who couldn't make it here live, you can watch it here later on. You have access to the replay. Hi, Buki from London. Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate you being here today. Hi, Buki. Yes. So, like I announced last week that our timing had changed to 9:30 a.m. I know that in the first 2-3 weeks after we've changed the time, we might have people going back and forth. And so I still receive messages at 7:30. Where are you, Louisa? And I appreciate you for even taking the pain to be here at 7:30. So now it has changed to 9:30 and we're hoping to see you at 9:30 on Monday. So starting from now, the month of June, 9:30 a.m. Hello, Stacy Anderson. Thank you so much for joining. So last Monday, I was the guest, right? And what we did was to set the pace on civility in the community. And because it's very important for us to foster civility in the community. And we discussed the factors to consider that would help foster civility in the community. And before I go on, for those of us who are just joining us for the very first time, because I can see some new faces, this is the Civilized Presence, and the main focus of the series really is to try to restore civility through meaningful and constructive conversations. So if you're here all the time, you would notice that I'm not doing this alone. I'm working with other of my colleagues and experts from different parts of the world. Trust me, we've had people from Asia, Africa. So this is where you need to be every Mondays and Fridays. You don't want to miss out. And for today, because I don't want to take so much of your time, we have someone who is very special to us. It's very special to me, very special to the civility community, and very special to the world. But before I bring her on, let me introduce myself to you. For those of you who have never met me or do not know me, my name is Louisa Akaiso, and I am a certified master civility trainer and a leadership expert. So if you want to know what I do, I work with leaders and professionals like you who pay great importance in themselves and their reputation. So I know that you're here because you have an interest in this topic, so thank you. But do me a favor, because you might have people on your network who would like to benefit from this series or what we're talking about today. Could you please like this video, show us some love, and post it on your Facebook page or group? We would really appreciate it. And so together we can build a community of like-minded individuals. And wouldn't that be fun? I think it would be fun. So guys, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I know the question on your mind is, who is the guest? Yes, I'm bringing her on now. Unfortunately, we're not able to get her on the screen right now because of the reception where she is. But that's fine. We will re-record this very soon and put it back here. But I couldn't let her go because she has this valuable message that I am itchy. To Jacqueline, you always have something to learn. So at this point, I am just going to try to bring her on in the session, okay, by introducing who Jacqueline is. And so Jacqueline, the delectable Jacqueline Moore, she is an ex-mayor of Northport, Florida, like you had seen on our flyers. And most importantly, she's a candidate for Master Civility status and the president of Power and Light Company. She is also a coach and trainer with over 30 years of experience. So you can see why I had to bring her here. She's worked with so many not-for-profit organizations, helping them in capacity building and spearheading community programs. So it was important that we brought Jacqueline in the month of June because we're talking about community and what she's doing in the community and all over the world. It's remarkable, and you would want to learn about Jacqueline. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Jacqueline Moore. Yay!
Good morning, Louisa. Good morning to everyone listening. I know all over the world we are feeling this vibration of a need for a deep and meaningful and serious conversation about kindness and civility. And I am a perpetual learner. I will learn as much from listening ever as to share anything. So I'm honored, Louisa, that you would have me on here today. Thank you for those that were able to hang in. We did have some technological issues, but it's okay. Everything happens in divine order in my view of the world. So I'm just happy to be here, and we have a plan of what we want to talk about, but I first want to acknowledge that the recent spate of deaths by suicide is really heavy on the hearts of people, Louisa, and I don't mean to throw a curveball into our plan, but the media has been just blowing up, this morning in the wake of the deaths by suicide of two celebrities. But every day in our local communities, people are feeling that there's no reason to be here. And I can't think of a more important reason for us to be focused on the intimate nature of kindness. And I've done a lot of thinking about this because people say, well, what is kindness? So if you all are familiar with and working with the definition of civility that we in the civility community globally are working with, the second bullet of the three parts of the definition has to do with easing the experience of others. And one of the underpinning mental states of being and choicefulness is around kindness. And so I say that kindness is an intimate aspect of civility. It's personal, and it's directed to one or some who are right in front of us.
Exactly.
And kindness connects us in points in time, so it can be situational. And civility, I would say, is the mind of society that's informed by the heart, and kindness is a strengthening agent of civility. So civility is a list of protocol, rules, ways to behave, to get things done in our society. There's never been a time in my experience, and I'll be 68 years old in a couple of weeks. In my experience, I have never felt a greater need, and I'm joyful. Even in this serious conversation, I'm joyful that all over the world, in innumerable ways, people are focused on kindness. They are focused on civility. They are focused on courtesy, manners, restoring, as you said, Louisa, this focus and this conversation. So it's just the perfect time. And so I wanted to start by just acknowledging the pain in our world and the good news that there is a growing group of us around the world who are willing, committed, continuing to equip themselves to be agents of change and to be the change we seek in the world.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And guys, this is the month of June. And like we had mentioned on Monday, that for the month of June, we are focusing really on driving civility back home. So how can we help to foster civility in our community? Around our neighbors, the people that are around you, learning how to make kindness a way of life. It is very important, and that's what we'll be doing for the month of June. And as you stay on, you would be able to learn tips that would help you to be able to do this. Civility, it's about easing the experience of other people, like Jacqueline has mentioned, and we have to be intentional about it. It's not just going to happen. We are all complaining every single day of how we want to live in a better life, and how people, like Jacqueline had mentioned, are committing suicide and so many other things that are happening in the schools. We have people with guns just going to gun people down. There are a lot of terrible things that are happening. If we do not try to deal with the foundation, this is never going to change. So what we have to do is to be able to work together and hold our hands and do this. Change a life one at a time. It doesn't matter if it's something as little as saying please and thank you. Be grateful, be polite to the next person. Just offer some kind of kindness. We're not asking for too much, but I believe that if we all come together and with the same focus to be able to do this every single day intentionally, the world will be a better place. So we're just going to go forward and talk about what we have for today. So Jacqueline, I am just going to throw back some questions at you. And I know that you would graciously provide us with the answer, and we're looking forward to that. So,
For you.
guys, we have to record this session again. You need to meet Jacqueline. She is such a phenomenal woman. I am so blessed to have known her in the past couple of months. It's been a blessing. So, Jacqueline, can you just tell the audience what kindness, tell us a little bit about kindness, and how can we teach kindness to somebody next to us? And another thing that is most important is how we can use kindness to build healthy relationships.
I will be happy to share my thoughts on that. First of all, I talk to groups all the time, and people ask me, well, how do we do this? To your point, where is kindness? And I say, with love and compassion, look in the mirror. You know, that's where, and our vision of Kindness Community, which is the effort that I started here in Southwest Florida that has grown globally, is to create social change that makes kindness a way of life. This is an inside job we're talking about. There are tips, there are activities, there are things that we can do. The first thing, though, is that we have to understand that the outpicturing of our world, the way the world looks right now, is the external reflection of what's going on in our minds right now. And so my personal responsibility, and I lovingly suggest that of everyone, is to look in our own hearts, look into our own minds, and be very clear what our intentions are and how we see others and how we see the world. in these talks that I give, people say, well, what about respect? I mean, people are unkind or uncivil, or they don't behave well, and it causes me not to respect them. And so, I can't do anything about that. And I say, well, I understand what you're saying, and I hear that a lot of the time, that people have to earn respect. I see it a different way. So that's why I say this is an inside job. We have to look at how we think about others and how we think about what people should and should not do, should and should not be. If we want to be agents of change and our behavior flows from a different place, I say that everyone deserves respect. That doesn't mean everyone earns our trust immediately if they hurt us in some way or we perceive that they're doing something to us that is unkind or uncivil. But that's a shift. If I believe that every human being is created by some source, and we're all created by whatever this, I call it God, others may call it something else, but we're all created from somewhere, then we start off being equal. We start off being equally valuable. And so if we respect others just because they exist, not because they have to jump through some kind of mental loop in my head about what makes them valuable or makes them good or makes me want to know them or treat them better, then I am in a place of choicefulness to treat them even better, potentially. The platinum rule, treat people the way they want to be treated. The golden rule, treat people the way we would want to be treated. Either way, this is an inside-out job, and this is what I mean when I say this is time for a serious conversation. What am I personally willing to do to let go of any beliefs that cause me to feel superior to, better than, separate from, or not part of anyone else? A Course in Miracles says there's only one of us here. So however I treat you is really how I'm treating myself. Right. It's in our enlightened self-interest to look past the physical body of someone's being and know that they are a created being just like I am. And no one is any better or worse than anyone. So I'm grateful, as I said, that so many people are focusing on kindness and civility, and it's time for a radical shift, Louisa, a radical shift. And so that radical shift comes in the space between something happens outside of ourselves that we see or hear, and how we respond to it. And this is a tool that I am teaching all over the world. It's not new. I learned about it in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People years ago. And it's the stimulus response model. And I ask everyone listening, isn't it easy, do a mental raise your hand if you will, isn't it easy to be kind when we agree on whatever the subject matter is? Yes. 100% of the time people say, oh, of course, if we want to put a traffic light at this intersection and it makes everybody feel safer, then yes, it's easy to be kind and we all vote on it and everybody's in accord. But if there's a jugular issue about which we do not agree, on which we do not share the same perspective, guess what? That's when the circumstances are ripe for the kinds of behavior, unlovingness, and disconnect and excusing of or dismissing of others happens. To me, this is where the deep learning is between what somebody else says or does and how I treat them. Is the space where my power is, where your power is. I get to choose, no matter what you do or don't do, how I treat you. And it's almost like we've come full circle. We're so focused on out there that we have forgotten to continue to nurture the in here. And that's where this societal change is going to happen, in my humble opinion.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I have someone from the audience. Hello, Eller. She says that being an agent of change absolutely begins with us, of course. And hi, Buki. Thank you so much for joining us. So, guys, you have heard from Jacqueline and how important it is for us to, go out every day to be kind. I always say, try to sprinkle kindness everywhere that you go. And it begins with you. You are the teacher. We might not have people who are around you listening to Jacqueline right now, but you can take on the message that you've learned on from here to pass on to the next person, and that's what we expect you to do. So our next question, Jacqueline, because we're talking about community this month, how important is it for us to create a culture of civility within our community?
Louisa, it is crucial to our ability to thrive. You know, survival is one thing we all have in common who are still here on the planet. We're surviving. That means we're breathing and then maybe some other things. But thriving is our vision for the human race, for our planet, for our communities. You know, a community is just a microcosm. A city, a town, a village. It's just a microcosm of the world. People all over the world want the same things. They want to be happy, they want to feel safe, and they want to have their basic needs met. And they want their children to grow up and be good people that have a future. I hear this day in and day out, validated by people from cultures all over the world, from different circumstances, from different upbringings. We are so much more alike than we're different. So we already have the beginning of that. Is here we are in a community choosing to physically be in the same community. Let's just say Northport, Florida, which is where I personally happen to live, happen to have chosen as my hometown, because I've lived all over creation basically, but I've been here about 12 years. So a community is made up of people. So it takes a willingness and an intention among the people to do two things. One, to agree that kindness or civility or both and all the things that underpin that are important, and two, willing to be part of bringing it to life. So one thing we did in the city of Northport, Florida, was officially resolve through the process of the Northport City Commission to be a community of kindness, to be a kindness community. And one of the goals of kindness community, again, our vision is to create social change that makes kindness a way of life, is to have every city, every county, and every school board in the state of Florida adopt an official stand of some kind that theoretically can be a model for every other state and every country in the world. And it doesn't mean there aren't already great things similar to that going on, but somehow over time we can knit and blend and strengthen this social fabric, so to speak, through these paying attention. It's being public about it. It's saying it is important. This is what we're doing about it. This is how we go about it. When we hire people, we look for those traits. When we orient people to our businesses or to our organizations, we orient them to that. We officially say in our organizations, in our homes, in our schools, in our community, that kindness and civility are vital to people thriving. We don't just want people surviving here, making it day to day, eking out a living payday to payday, unless that's what they choose to do, and that's powerful and great for them. And thriving means we treat each other in a way that we recognize we cannot do it without each other. And the Dalai Lama is a fabulous messenger about that. And you know, Louisa, he says, whenever possible, be kind. It's always possible. And that is the kind of community that we are committed to be, that I know those of you listening are interested in being part of helping to happen. And it's like Benjamin Franklin said, what's the best way to teach people? By example, by example, by example. So that is the tip. And I'll give you a local example. A friend of mine took her daughter, her 1-year-old, to a local park. And there's a sign up in the local park that says, thank you for not smoking, young lungs at play. And so apparently there were people there smoking and people there cursing. And so my friend was disturbed because the environment was not, in her opinion, healthy for her child. And it was not in accord with what the rule was, so to speak. You know, there was no law, but there was a rule about it. And she chose to just leave and go somewhere else. And that was the right decision for her. Other people may say there's an opportunity to engage with the people there and attempt to have a conversation.
Right.
So this isn't easy. This changing the world, making kindness a way of life, this isn't easy. And if you think of an iceberg, the top 10% is what we see above the waterline. And that's our behavior. The 90% below the waterline, that's our character, that's our value system, that's our experience, that's our upbringing. We have no idea who anybody is unless we communicate with them. So those are the ways, in my view of the world and in my experience, that we create community. It's choosing to stand up for and give a hand up for the conversation and the focus, both officially, as described in the resolution for kindness community here in my particular city, or on the playground or at the park, to have a conversation. And I'm not saying, nothing any of us says is 100% in every situation. I get that.
Right.
And the only way we will get comfortable being out of our own comfort zones to be willing to advance the focus and the conversation is to be the one who has it.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I'm just going to acknowledge some more people who have come online. Hi, Sean Maycock, and she's from London, UK. And we have lovely Rose from Virginia. Thank you so much for joining us. So Henry James has said that the three most important things in the life of a human being is, the first thing is to be kind, the second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind. Yeah. So there is no way that you're going to run out to. You have to be kind. There's so much resources out there that will be able to help us and guide us. And I know that Jacqueline is going to share with us very soon about a tool that she's used all over the world that is working in teaching people how to be kind and just be able to pass it on. But Jacqueline, thank you so much. I really want to learn a little bit more about the kindness community. And I see that it's such a great initiative. I know that you've used it in your home state, but I'm sure that there are other people on the line, or some of our viewers, that would want to learn about it and how to see how to use that in their own state or in their community. And we have people from different parts of the world. So can you just tell us a little bit about kindness community, how it started, and how much it's grown in its 18 months, and what is the greatest achievements or projects that you have been able to achieve with the kindness community?
Thank you. I'd love to. A couple of years ago, actually it was on my birthday. I'm aware of it because this is my birthday month, I guess. 2 years ago, when I was mayor here in Northport, I attended the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the plenary speaker was the Dalai Lama. And his whole conversation was about how we, the leaders in our communities, bring kindness into our communities. And he talked about Anaheim, California, and a great initiative they had out there. And during that experience, I was struck with the knowing, and I'm thinking everyone who's listening has had a moment or more in their lives where something happened and they knew that they were having something laid on their heart, laid in their mind, that they needed to do something about. And I knew that day, 2 years ago on June 27th, that I was to focus my life and devote my life to kindness. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how that was going to happen. I didn't care. I just knew, and I was grateful to have that knowing. So on December 1st of 2016, which is 18 months ago, and plus a few days, is when Kindness Community was officially born. And it was born with the loving, generous engagement of a local organization here in our region called Goodwill Minnesota, and the 100 ambassadors who are ambassadors for that organization who immediately came on board, and we started an online kindness pledge. I'd like to invite everyone listening to go to experiencegoodwill, all one word, .org/kindness and sign the kindness pledge. In 18 months, we have over 75 1,000 people all over the world because we just keep sharing it, telling people about it, whatever, to sign the pledge. So that's one thing. Last May, a year ago, we did a Kindness Is video campaign. So here's something every one of you could do wherever you are. We did it through social media, and we just went around places and just asked people if they would give us a minute and tell us from their heart what kindness is to them. And what we hoped would happen is that we'd get 100 videos a day, and we'd post them on social media, and that would inspire other people. Well, the irony of it all was we got less than 200 videos, because you really have to have more of a structured go to events or have an event or whatever to get all those videos. So that was a great learning. But what did happen was there were over 800,000 impressions online about that initiative. So that told us that, okay, there's a wanting, there's a need, there's an interest, and in my words, a longing to connect to this energy that is kindness. So October of that year, we brought the website up, which is wearekindnesscommunity.com, and thank you for showing our logo among the graphics that you put up for this event, Louisa. So if you all don't have a chance to write that down, you can go back to the flyer that Louisa put up and see our logo there with the URL, which is wearekindnesscommunity.com. It's not as current as I would like with some newsworthy stuff, because I'm the one.
I think it's beautiful.
But if you all want to see some of those videos, you want to see photos of others from around the world that have graced us with images around kindness community and contributed visuals to that, you will see that. You'll also see some background, and you'll see the proclamations and the resolutions that some other government entities here in the state of Florida have generously and with great leadership provided. So there's almost a toolkit, if you will, at that website that people can take tools and take information from and replicate them where they are. And I'm just now having that thought, Louisa. So that's going to be my report going forward, is there is a toolkit for kindness community, and it's the website. So go there, look at the news link. You'll see the media coverage we've had. You'll see the resolutions, the proclamations. And again, it's not even current, because a lot has happened. It's not because of me. It's because kindness community causes people to be more aware. And you know, change happens. The very first thing that happens with change is we have to be aware that it's needed. The second is to understand what it is. The third is to align our behavior and our minds, that inside work, to what it is we're understanding now, and then mobilizing and being a force for change. So you can get started if you're not already, and I think most of you probably are, or you wouldn't even be on here because it already interests you. But you can go forth and take these tools and adapt them to your local situation and your local circumstances. You know, there's only one of us here, and it only takes one of us to change the world, and I know that's true.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And I was just going to repeat that. It was experiencegoodwill.org/kindness, and sign the kindness pledge. So for the month of June, what we would like you to do, like I announced the last time that we have a challenge that's coming up, is to please follow the Facebook page Kindness Community. Okay, it's on Facebook. And what we would want you to do is post your stories about acts of kindness that you have received or seen others receive. So it's not about what you've done, but what you've seen others received. Post the stories. We would like to learn more about what you're doing with the knowledge that you've received from here. Try to pass it on to the next person. And I really do appreciate everyone for making up time to be here. Now, guys, I know that you've enjoyed this session just like I have. And based on the feedbacks that we've had, you know, in the past weeks, and people keep asking me, Louisa, how can we do and acquire knowledge of what you're doing? And so we have some trainings that are coming up. I think it's a good time to let you know, but you can also visit my website to check on for that. But the training in Virginia, it's coming up for the August the 6th to the 13th for people who indicated interest to become a trainer, and that's the training for you. Now we have other trainings that are coming up as well, and I would provide the dates for you. There's one that's going to be in Dubai. There's one in London, UK. We have another one in Ghana and Nigeria, and I will be happy to share that with you. Now, if you would like to learn some other things that we do, services, and what is interesting about civility and what's happening right now, you can visit my website, and that is www.thecivilityacademy.com. And you can also send me an email at louisa@thecivilityacademy.com. You can leave a comment in the comment box below. If you're watching this on replay, I come back and have a look at all the comments and the questions, and we reach out to you. So I just want to let you know that you are special. You were amazing for being here today. I love you all. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline, thank you for always being so gracious again. Thank you so much for sharing kindness to all of us. And we are going to have Jacqueline here very soon again this month. And that time you would have access to see Jacqueline on camera. And we will do this video again, like I said, and put it up here. I'm so sorry about what happened earlier today. So we're back here on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So audience, could you please just show some love to Jacqueline and just say thank you to her in the comment below. I can see Ayla said thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, we really do appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you for making up time. Absolutely.
For everyone listening.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to having you again very soon. So thank you so much. I hate to let you go, but bye for now. Thank you.
Bye for now.